Let's answer a question from a listener. Today, Mary asks a question. Mary says, I was talking to my 17-year-old about money market funds recently. Can a 17-year-old set up a money market fund? And is this the wisest way for her to save her money? This is a great question, and I think it's very important to be teaching our young children, our teenagers, about saving money and the value in saving money. This is going to tie in great into the main topic today. When it comes to saving and where you save your money, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, what is the purpose of the money that I'm saving, and does the place that I'm considering saving that money fit the need? For example, let's say your 17-year-old is looking to save for her emergency fund. That particular savings need needs to be liquid. An emergency fund needs to be accessible for when an emergency happens, and we don't know when that's going to be. So you want to choose something that's going to give the flexibility to take the money out. A money market is basically a savings account that earns a higher interest rate and very often gives you a debit card or a checkbook in which you can cut money directly out of. It gives you immediate access, possibly too much so, but that flexibility is desirable for an emergency fund. You cannot find that kind of flexibility with a certificate of deposit. A CD is going to lock the money away and make it less liquid and make it less desirable for an emergency fund. Another good option for an emergency fund, say that your 17-year-old finds that she is spending the money from the emergency fund too easily if it's tied directly to a debit card. You might consider a high-yield savings account. High-yield savings accounts today can often outperform, interest-wise, a money market account. I've seen high-yield savings accounts that make more than 3 or 4% a year. Now, both a money market and a high-yield savings account are going to have variable returns on their interest rates, but they're going to almost always and forever outperform a traditional savings account, and they're going to be the most low-risk way to store an emergency fund. Now, let's say you're getting ready to save for a car or a wedding or college. Well, the car or the wedding are high-ticket items that you would probably want to, as you're saving, keep up with inflation. A money market or a high-yield savings account might be a good way to go for that. If you know when the wedding's going to be or when you need that car, and you know for sure you won't need it sooner, you might be able to get away with using a certificate of deposit that matures by the time you hit that date, if the CD is going to out-earn the interest and make a sizable difference in saving for that particular item in the given time that you expect. So the purpose you have behind that savings dictates the best location. Let's take a real quick special consideration for higher education savings. If you're looking to save for college or an associate's degree or a technical school or a culinary school, whatever that higher education aspiration may be, a 529 or an educational savings account may be the better way to go. Reason being is you can put that money aside, and when you pull it out, you're not going to be taxed on it. You can take a tax deduction if you're putting that money toward education and funneling it through even actively. Like, let's say your 17-year-old goes to school and actively wants to pay for tuition. You can get a tax break by having that money go through those accounts. Verify the tax benefit and any liabilities, pros and cons with a tax expert before engaging with a tax-sheltered account like a 529 or an educational savings account. One of the coolest things that happened this year is if you save in a 529 and you don't use all the money for school, well, what do you do with it? Traditionally, you'd have to roll that money over to someone else in the family who would be needing to use it for college expenses, for higher education, or you would take that money out and pay the taxes on it, pay the taxes on the growth and pay a penalty. Now, with the new Secured Act 2.0, you can take that money that you don't use in your 529 and roll it over into a Roth IRA for the recipient of that money. So if you were investing in a 529 for college and you overloaded it, you didn't end up spending it all, it can be a major jump start to the retirement journey for your 17-year-old. That is an incredible change and something that I'm definitely going to be taking advantage for my children. If your 17-year-old does not aspire for higher education, other means beyond the 529 or ESA are probably going to be more appropriate. You want to make sure that if college is an aspiration, that it's taken care of before saving for things like retirement, especially with the new 529 option that you have. You can prioritize saving for education, getting through education debt free, and then focus on retirement beyond that. If college is paid for and that expense is secured, that future journey is going to be possible without paying any debt. Focus on the immediate needs, like needing transportation and a car if that hasn't already been met. Beyond that, start considering savings for the future. It can be super helpful to sit down with your 17-year-old and make a savings allocation plan, list out all the goals, dreams, and aspirations that she may have, and assign each one a goal amount and a deadline date. That way, as she's saving, she can take the purpose for all the money that she wants to be saving, assign it to that purpose, and then assign that purpose to the particular account that best fits the need.